Well, I'm out here with the dog and just trying to take a look at and get a couple pictures of and say goodbye to our big tree before she gets cut down. We're going to be starting with it tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if we'll be finished or if it'll be another weekend or two before we get more of the work done, but yeah, it's that's about it for this big thing. I've wanted to get rid of it since we moved in about 2 years ago, and now that it's really happening, I'm starting to feel real sad about it. It feels very arrogant and somewhat cruel to decide that I can just kill this big old thing, but partly for our plans for the yard and partly for the safety of the house and to mitigate some of the financial risks of having an unhealthy tree. This seems to be the right decision, so I just hope it is. Now, I think I've mentioned before, we don't intend to just waste all the tree and burn her all up. The plan is ideally that we will be able to rent or borrow a chipper shredder and grind up most of the canopy into mulch for the rest of the property, which would be a quite nice way to get some of that nutrient back into the soil that it came from, or approximately where it came from. There's a good chance, although I hope to avoid, that we will have some of these, slimmer firewood-sized logs just become firewood. But ideally, when the trunks of the tree are milled in the next month or two, we will be able to at least get a couple boards out of some of the other stuff. So, trying not to waste any part of the animal, and really hoping that all of the plants that we add and all the trees that we grow can offer not just replacement value, but a better environment for all the wildlife and for our neighborhood. I mean, it'll be nice for us. We're going to miss the shade, and, we're going to miss, try to save. But one of our favorite plants on the property is tree fern here. It grows down in the crotch of the tree in big, beautiful clumps of green. I took cuttings of it last year, and it looked like one of them rooted well enough, and I'd like to see tree fern survive, so we'll try and save the mother plant there and use up as much of the tree as we can. And yeah, I guess that's about it. I did get my first plant delivery of the year. It's thankfully a tree, but it's not any of our fruits. This is a variety of ginkgo called grindstone. It gets about 25 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. So at some point in the next dozen years, this thing should, reach an okay size, and in our lifetime should reach its max size. And Maria's pretty happy about it. She's been wanting a ginkgo tree, and it's not likely that we have a good spot with all of our fruit trees to get a full-size one anytime soon. There is a crabapple on the other side of this thing, the spruce, I believe it is, and we can go take a look at her. So there's a shrub surrounding the crabapple, and it seems that our crabapple does the worst of the several on our street. It blooms much later, and it doesn't bloom nearly as much. Part of that is the shade from the spruce tree and competing with such a large tree right next to it. But a big part of it, I believe, is this massive woody shrub taking up all the root space and nutrients that can be there. So we're definitely taking out this shrub this year, and we may, not this year probably, we may end up cutting out the crabapple and replacing it with a full-size ginkgo. But likely won't be cutting down any other trees this year. Oh, hey, look! These are geraniums, wild geraniums from Maria's mother's garden. And it looks like we got some nice living leaves on them. I think the red ones are definitely from last fall, but it looks like there's some young baby ones here, huh? Let's try and get that focused. There we go. Yeah, some young leaves here. That's a nice sign. The area under this spruce tree has been very hard to get anything to grow in. That's partly my fault for not doing better research into what can handle the soil. We get anemones and the wild geraniums, but we planted a bunch of ferns and those died out real quick. And I put in a bleeding heart and that seemed to have died. Let's take a look over here. Well, my leaf cover over here seems to have held up pretty well. I think I might end up taking out all the cardboard that's under the leaves. Might even rake all the leaves out and hope there's... Let's take a look. Well, there's still a lot of grass cover here, so I may need to just put dirt on top of the leaves. But the plan would be to plant a bunch of my clovers here. I don't know if there's enough sun for them, but I want to put something there that can act as a sort of weed barrier to prevent the grasses from growing right up next to the fence and needing to be mowed. That's hi pup. That's a project that can wait. So I suppose that's about it. And I'll let you folks get back to your days, but thank you for watching. And yeah, goodbye tree. All right, Saoirse and I will see you soon. Bye.